Hi everyone, welcome to the Gypsy Caravan. I'm Shan. So for today's video, I'm going to be showing you how Marilynn Monroe did her makeup, or at least how her makeup artist did her makeup. A lot of makeup artists are talking about her makeup, trying to replicate her makeup, talking about the products that she used back in the day, or her makeup artist at least. Also because the new Blondie movie is premiering this weekend, I think, which is like the 24th of September. Marilynn's all the hype at the moment, rightfully so. So I'm going to be replicating her makeup, or trying to at least, which is also kind of fitting because Halloween, which I feel is also a little bit fitting, just because Halloween is not really around the corner, but it's close. And if you're looking to go as Marilynn Monroe for Halloween, then we can make that possible here. So let's get into it. Obviously, as you know, Marilynn Monroe's makeup is iconic, especially the wing liner and the red lip. I feel like she was probably the forefront of that movement. I think she was probably the first person who did like a red lip and wing liner, and the beauty community just ran with that, and it's now still such an iconic look to wear like wing liner or red lipstick. She pretty much dominated that, or at least forefronted it. I don't even know what the word is I'm looking for, but she was the one. So Marilynn Monroe obviously used specific products on her face. I don't have all the specific products that she used, but as I said, this is a replication, so I'm going to try and use some of the things that she did have, or at least a product that is similar to what she used, if that makes sense. So we're really just here for how the makeup turns out, not so much really what she used. Okay, so my skin's clean, washed, exfoliated, skincare. Let's get into it. So she used a combination of 3 products to help give her skin that really hydrated, blurred, dewy effect. Oh my gosh. And to my understanding, she used a very specific cream that I can't remember right now, but I'll list it here for you, with a mixture of Vaseline and Nivea cream. Now I don't have the 2, but I have Vaseline, so I'm gonna put on my own moisturizer and mix that in with Vaseline. So my choice of moisturizer is, of course, my tried and true is Strobecream. The only reason I'm doing Strobecream is because it's a super hydrating type of moisturizer, which is kind of what she used. The only difference is that this has luminosity and hers did not. So moisturize your face, in other words. Next, I'm going to go in, I actually do have Vaseline, I carry in my kit all the time. This is the Vaseline Blue Seal Light Hydrating Jelly in Aloe Fresh. Obviously, of course, in those days they had still the jar ones, the Vaseline that came in the jars. Obviously Vaseline has evolved since then. So the reason she used Vaseline is to create a blurring effect on the skin. So this was kind of like her primer, and she used this to create a very soft focus effect on the skin. I have never, ever, ever in my life applied Vaseline to my skin. I'm only going to start with a little bit because I'm nervous, but she did it. It worked for her, so I'm going to do it. I worry because it's a petroleum jelly, and I know people do put this on their face to like lock in moisture and stuff, but I have never done it just because I don't like the feeling, I don't like the consistency, I don't like the texture. But this is all for the Marilynn Monroe authenticity of the look, so we are doing it. Okay, so next we're going to move into the eyes. It's fairly simple. She didn't really wear a lot on her eyes, so it's quick and easy. I don't have the white cream base or a white cream base to use to prime my lid. So I'm going to go in with my good old faithful Painterly, and I'm going to add white on top of it to make it look a little bit more believable. Okay, so now that my lids are primed, I'm just going to go in with a white eyeshadow. I'm just going to use Certified from the Jaclyn Hill palette because that's the first or the closest white I have to me. And it's a white matte eyeshadow. And I'm going to use this to just set that primer. And also to give the eye the white eyeshadow look that she had, even though she used a white cream base. Okay, so before I move on any further with the eyes, I do want to just sculpt out my brows a little. Marilynn, of course, had very defined high arch brows. I don't have high arch brows, but I can definitely make my brow look more defined, so that's what I'm going to be doing. So I'm just going to be taking my MAC Eyebrows pencil in the shade Stylized. I'm going to use the spoolie end first, just to comb through my brows and to kind of set them in place, or get them into a neat shape. And then I'm going to move on to the actual pencil side, and I'm just going to start defining my brow. I'm just going to follow the natural shape of my brow at first, and then I'll just obviously fill in and shape where I need to. This is the most defined my brows have ever been, but it's okay. It's a little bit more mud. Marilynn's brows were not this thick, but we're gonna move on. So then she applied, or had applied, a white shimmery or frosty sort of eyeshadow. I do not have such a thing. I do, however, though, have this in Extreme Dimension type of white eyeshadow. It has a tiny bit of like a greeny blue reflect to it, but it is literally the only white frost I own. This is from a MAC collection that we did somewhat years ago. I think maybe even as far back as 2017, part of their Snowball collection. I actually do not even remember what the shade is called, but I will find it and list it down below in any case. To the lids, and just up into the crease. I'm not going to take it too far up. I am only just going to put it on the lid, and I don't even know if you can see that. Let me try with my finger. Finger works a little bit better, but essentially you just want something that's white and frosty. Good luck finding that these days, because it is a very, I would say, Y2K 90s sort of thing to have like this white frost. This one, however, is still super pretty. I mean, I obviously bought it for a reason, because it has this really nice green blue reflect in it, so it actually looks like snow. And I have a feeling the eyeshadow is called like Snowball or Snowfall or something like that, but I will find it and list it down below. Okay, so I always thought she had on black eyeliner. It turns out she actually used brown, so I'm going to be using my brown my brown IG pencil to create her wing, her iconic wing. So Marilynn had quite a turned down type of eye. Her eye shape was almost sort of teardropped, where it was like quite bright-eyed in the inner corner and then really tapered down in the outer corner. So her eyeliner looked very heavy and very sleepy, so or her makeup artist rather, or herself, pulled out that eyeliner at a slight angle but still kept it quite flat to give her that really sleepy bedroom eye effect. So I'm going to try and do that, because I do have a slight turn down myself, but my inner corner is lower than my outer corner. So yeah. Her eyeliner in my mind was also quite thin and quite close to her lashes. She didn't have like a really thick line of liner in my opinion. I feel like this eye looks a little bit better because I have less of a hood, so it's just easier to do this eye sometimes. Okay, so moving on to lashes, I'm just going to coat my eyes with mascara. It's never actually mentioned what mascara she used in my mind. I can't find the mascara that she used, but I do know she wore lashes. So I'm just going to coat my lashes with some extended play Gigiblak and get some lashes going. So there is a little bit of not a miscommunication, but it's hard to actually decipher what she used for lashes. A lot of sources say that she used a half lash. A lot of sources say that individual lashes were put on her eyes, mainly right at the ends of her corners, to give her that really heavy, very heavy weight down, like sleepy lid. I am just going to do a half lash because individual lashes take a long time and I don't have time for that. I am just going to use an old pair of MAC 36s that I have cut in half. Or if you really want like a true half lash, MAC does make a pair of half lashes. They're the number 20s if I'm not mistaken. I just took a pair of 36s and slashed them in half. I'm going to put lashes on real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that I've got the lashes on, you can see it's made my outer corner look just a little bit more dense and a little bit more heavy. So naturally it's made my eyes go a little bit more squinty, which is kind of what they're after. They wanted that like really soft bedroom eye. Not really soft, it's actually quite heavy. But in doing that with the liner and the lashes just on the ends, you can see my eyes have already just taken on that like heavy, squinty sort of look. So we achieved what we wanted. Before I continue with underneath the eyes, I actually just want to get into the skin first. So for foundation, she had for her skin overall, she had a very dewy, fresh look to her face. She hardly was completely matte, maybe sometimes semi-matte most of the time, but she had a really youthful dewiness to the skin. And she achieved that by using a cream foundation. Now I of course don't wear cream foundations or don't even have a cream foundation, so I'm going to make like a mixture of foundation for myself that will mimic the same sort of effect, but it won't be cream, it will be a liquid foundation. The foundation I'm going to go in with is the Bourjois Healthy Mix foundation. The reason why I went with this one is because I know it gives my skin that really nice like dewy glow, but it kind of mimics the texture of a cream even though it is a liquid. I know that doesn't make sense, but I was trying to think of like textures and consistencies in my mind going through my kit, and I think this one is the close-ish I have, or the closest one I have English. Anyway, moving on. I'm in the shade 51.5 Vanilla Rose. This actually is just a touch too dark for my skin. Well, at least like it will look there. If I look here in the mirror, it'll be fine. But if I look on camera, it might be a little bit bright. So we'll see. Today I'm going to be doing something different. I'm going to try for the foundation brush, I'm going to use my 196 Slanted brush from MAC. I don't particularly like this for foundation, but it's a foundation brush, it's clean, and it's the closest one to me. So I have given this a good mix or shake already, and I'm just going to do a little dollopy on my brush and just see like how this goes. While I am doing foundation, I guess it's not so bad. While I am doing foundation, there's no mention of her using a concealer, and I guess probably in those days concealer wasn't like known or wasn't a thing or hadn't been created yet. I'm actually not entirely sure. I should probably do better research if you ask me, but there was no mention of concealers or anything like that. It was just like the face paint portion of the makeup, which was or is foundation. Even though there is or wasn't any mention of powder, I am still going to powder a little bit of my face, especially around my nose. My nose just eats makeup, and my nose is not going to last within the next 2 seconds. So I'm just going to use a little bit of my infallible powder just to strategically set certain places. Just going to take that on a powder brush. Let's get into the under eyes. She had a very specific under eye routine, if I can even just say that. She used up to 3 products underneath her eyes. The first one is a white or cream eyeliner that she used in her waterline to give the illusion that her eyes were more awake, bigger or larger in size, and to cancel out any redness that was in the eye. So the pencil I'm going to be using for that is the Studio Chromogaphic eye pencil from MAC Cosmetics. I'm in the shade NW25 NC30. Well, it's not really my shade, it's just what brightens up my under eye area. You can use a white, you can use a cream. Just make sure that the color you're putting in your waterline is bright enough to brighten up your eye look. Sorry, I can't do that in the camera because this literally hurts my eyes. Oh. But that's sort of the effect. You just want that really light eyeliner on the waterline to help open up and brighten and make the eyes look bigger. Next, apparently, she went in with a red eyeliner or a red lip liner just in the inner corners of her eyes. Apparently, this is said to make her eyes look more awake and more white, which is quite frightening, but I'm going to attempt it. So I'm just going to use my Cherry lip liner by MAC, and I'm going to do a little bit of red in my inner corner. And that is also super ticklish for me. That is just so weird. Okay, I mean, that's what she did, so. Next thing her makeup artist did was go back in with that brown eyeliner and created a line underneath her wing liner. Again, just to make the lashes look heavy and thick and dense. Excuse me. And just to overall make the bottom or the outer corners of her eyes look super heavy and like sleepy. You literally just take the line out almost parallel to that top eyeliner and bring that in to your lash line at the bottom. Like that. Pretty much like that. And then my little pencil has like the smudgy brush at the bottom. I'm just going to use that to soften this line in the lashes a little bit. So it just adds to the heaviness of the eyes at the end of the day. And then I'm just going to pop on some mascara on my bottom lashes. Okay, so according to sources, Marilynn was definitely a blush girl. So I'm just going to pull out my trusty blush palette right here. In my opinion, I honestly thought she was like a pinky rosy sort of blush girl, but it turns out she did like a slightly warmer sort of blush. So I'm thinking of doing a slight mixture of this pinkier shade with this warmish peachy shade. This is Fleur Power by MAC, and this is Cantaloupe by MAC. Cantaloupe is no longer in existence, but you can obviously substitute it with something similar. I'm just going to take that on a powder blush brush, and I'm just going to mix Fleur Power and Cantaloupe together and just bounce that into the skin. Obviously contouring, bronzing, that wasn't a thing. Mainly blush. A lot of celebrities and people back in those days wore blush, and then they would use this exact same blush to contour with, which is why a lot of people these days get the confused notion between like blush and contouring and bronzing. So she used her blush to sculpt out her face, which is what I'm going to be doing too. Okay, so that's blush and sculpting pretty much done. I've never sculpted my face with blush before. This is new and very wrong and very weird, but it is what it is. Just fix that slightly. Of course, Marilynn Monroe had her iconic beauty mark. It was on her left cheek. So I'm just going to take my brown pencil and create that beauty mark. It might look wrong to you because the camera is mirrored. Whoops, that's a bit big. His signature beauty mark. It's so weird. Anyway, for me at least, it's weird. It's also rumored, oh, let's get into the lips. It's also rumored that she used up to either 4 products or 4 layers of products to do her signature red lip. Again, there's a lot of sources. Oh, what is going on? There are a lot of sources saying that she used like a darker red lip into a brighter red lip. There's a lot of sources that say she used only a bright red lip and like highlighted with powder. So I'm just going to do both just to be safe. Pencil, I'm going to start back in with my cherry pencil and I'm just going to line and fill my lips quickly. Also, another thing about Marilynn's Cupid's bow is that it was very pointed. Mine's very rounded. So I'm just going to point off my Cupid's bow. Now that we have our lip liner down, I'm going to go in with a dark red lipstick first. This is Viva Glam 1 by MAC. It's just in their anniversary packaging. You can still get Viva Glam 1 in its normal packaging in stores. This is technically a very warm brick-ish sort of red. So it's obviously much deeper than the lip liner, but I'm only going to apply this in the outer perimeters of the lip. We're still going to keep the bright red in the center. See how that just dimmed down the lip a little? I'm guessing that's what happened and what she wanted. Then for the center or the brighter red, I'm going to go in with a liquid lip. This is Feel So Grand. It's like just a bright cherry red. You can go in with Ruby Woo by MAC if you have that type of thing. I'm only going to apply this in the center. Just like that. So it looks like she's got very diminutive lips when you see her. And it said that she had a little bit of white powder pressed into the center of her lips to give her, I guess, a highlight effect. So I will be doing that too. But instead of the white powder, I'm going to be using this white frosted eyeshadow that I have. And I am just going to put that on a dense blending brush and just press it into the center. Okay, and then of course she went in with a red lip gloss. I'm gonna go in with the Luscious Lips by Isabella Garcia. It's in the shade Plum, but trust me, it's red. It's obviously red. And I'm just going to apply that over top. Okay, so there we have it. Do I look like Marilynn Monroe? Not really, but her makeup does. I think this looks quite cute. I wouldn't wear it though. But definitely this lip. Oh, this lip is just heavenly. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today's tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you try and replicate it for yourself. Maybe this Halloween or just for fun. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Like this video if you haven't already. Do it now. Do it. Thanks. Don't forget to leave a comment of a different video that you would like to see, or a suggestion you have, or just a question maybe that you have. You can do that down there in the comment section. I will list everything down below in my description box for you if you would like to replicate this sort of look for yourself. And don't forget that wherever you can, refer the Gypsy Caravan. Bye.